Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery with IIMFL and Smart Money Alliance. It is my pleasure to visit with you this beautiful Wednesday morning, January 27th, 2021. We get together at this time most weekday mornings, right about 8 o'clock Central, with our distribution partners. And we have three different types of distribution partners, don't we? We have our affiliates. Who wouldn't want to be an affiliate? Free and easy. The opportunity to generate significant income by helping others, and that'll certainly tie into our conversation today. Secondly, we have our credit literacy educators. Our credit literacy educators focus on helping individuals as well as small business owners boost their credit. We're not credit repair. We don't compete with credit repair. We focus on adding new trade lines. And our credit literacy educators, they don't sell anything. They simply create awareness, and they generate on average $9,000 a month. That's calculated based upon 300 per conversion, one conversion per day over a 30-day month. We have overrides. We're not MLM, we're not network marketing, but we have overrides for both affiliates and educators that makes it worthwhile to network, build a team, and support a team. And then the cream of the crop is our joint venture incubator partners, sometimes called branch managers. And we do a straight 50-50 revenue split with them of the net revenue. They also are educators. They're also affiliates. So they assume all the roles, but they're at the top of the hierarchy. And we're in the process this year, 2021, of opening 100 physical offices and communities across the country. This is an initiative we started last year, but we needed to pause that because of the pandemic. But now we're moving forward and creating that local footprint. So if you know someone that might want to run a local office, a true physical office, we provide them $25,000 of working capital, great 50-50 revenue split. It certainly projects out to be a 7-figure annual business model. So with all that set aside, that's who we are and why we gather. Each day we have usually a different topic. And so today we're going to do two things, and my screen should be sharing. First, I want to go back and make sure that we've addressed all the questions that any of you may have regarding the new campaign that we announced yesterday. So again, this is not a new product. This is not a new program. It's a new campaign to reach out to a different target audience. So the program, the product, the deliverable is the same. It's the Access to Capital program. No upfront cost, no minimum credit score to qualify, no minimum time in business, $100,000 guarantee. Awesome. People love it. The difference is here we've created a campaign, including this flyer that we'll get one for you customized if you like, to target pre-launch businesses. So we're going to very early stage businesses, those that have not even formed yet. So now the proposition is a little different. It's essentially, if you had a blank check and the ability to start a new business, why wouldn't you? With no risk. So first off, what I want to do is see if there's any outstanding questions, comments, concerns that any of you have regarding this, the new campaign that we announced yesterday. And so that's number one on the agenda. And then we're going to do a little bit of training on how to effectively pitch. And it could be how to pitch this, how to pitch the normal access to capital, and even how to pitch credit boost. But are there any questions, comments, concerns? I believe all of you that requested a personalized flyer yesterday received it. So it wouldn't have my name down here. It would have your name. It wouldn't have our phone number on here. It would have your phone number. And again, we built this off of what we call the Norma model. So Norma, to some extent, has perfected this approach of going to early stage businesses. And what Norma has told us, and so that's what we're telling you, is instead of driving this target audience into a landing page, drive them into a phone call. Talk to them, qualify them, and then you'll drop them in on your landing page. We'll send them the Docusign and take it from there. So again, I think all of you that requested a customized flyer yesterday received it. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns on that before we move to item number 2? Okay, so any of you that were not on the call yesterday, if you want a personalized flyer, what we ask you to do is send an email in to me, thomas@iimfl.org, request the flyer, which is free. Let us know the number that you want on it, and then make sure that you're ready to start accepting calls. Look at your voicemail, look at how you're answering the phone, and make sure that you're ready to start taking in leads off of this initiative. And then also, so 3 things on the email: tell us the phone number, request the flyer, obviously, and then secondly, let us know what your campaign, what you're thinking about, how you're going to promote it, because our goal is for each of you to have at least 1 conversion a day per month. And so if we look at February, I know it's a shorter month, but in general, you should have 30 conversions a month, 1 a day. Okay, so that's the cleanup from yesterday. Any other questions on the new campaign? And again, if you didn't listen to the training yesterday, you'll want to go back and listen to it. We sent it out, but that's going to cover that. Okay, so let's move forward. Let's talk about effective pitching, because we often have questions from some of you of looking for success strategies. So some of you are knocking it out of the ballpark, and others of you seem to be struggling. So in an attempt to help all of us, we're going to talk about the 5 basic elements of how to make a pitch. The first of which is an attention-getting opening. We'll come back and talk about each of these. So we need an attention-getting opening. We need to define a clear problem, define a proposed solution, and we're going to practice it on this campaign here in a second. Create a visualization of a better future, and have a compelling call to action. Now, this will look a little bit different if it is in writing versus a person-to-person conversation. Let's say you're in an elevator and someone asks you what you do. But let's just tie this flyer to these 5 elements. So if we're wanting to generate leads to help start small businesses through access to capital using this campaign, first we need an attention-getting opening. And you can see that here. Our attempt is $100,000 to start a new business, with the subtitle, it's a grant subsidized program to fund startups. So this was fairly well thought out. $100,000 is definitive. It's a large enough number that it typically gets someone's attention, but it's not so outlandish to say, oh, we'll get you $5 billion, right? Well, I mean, if you qualified for $5 billion, you could get that, but most people wouldn't. So we have an attention-getting opening here. And so this, if you're having a verbal discussion, is much of what you would want to start with. I'm working with a nonprofit that has $100,000 available to start new businesses. It's a grant subsidized program to fund startups. So that's the attention-getting opening right there at the top. Each of our programs, each of our campaigns, whether it be Credit Boost or Access to Capital or this campaign, each has what we hope to be an attention-getting opening at the top of the page. Secondly, we need to identify a clear problem. And here, what we're saying is most people don't have the capital to properly start a business. That is an irrefutable problem. The SBA would agree, bankers would agree, and I'm sure you would agree. There's many, many people that have a desire, a dream, a vision, but they lack the capital to execute. So that's the clear problem that we're solving, is providing a minimum of $100,000 to any entrepreneur by going through the Access to Capital program. And of course, that leads us to the solution that I just tipped you off on. Now, the visualization for a better future is a tactic that you could use, a psychological tactic, to get the person to vision what their life would be like if they received the benefits of your offer. And so we attempt to do that here in this sentence. If you had a blank check and the ability to start a new business, why wouldn't you? And that blank check terminology is pretty powerful, because and it's somewhat true. We can help any small business get as much capital as they qualify for. 100,000 is the floor. It's the minimum. It's not the maximum. So this is the question that we recommend using to get the person to respond to you, if you're having a verbal conversation, of how much money they would want and how that would change their life. And so maybe it's they would be able to pay their bills on time, or they wouldn't have to go to the job they don't like anymore, or they could feel better about themselves. People would respect them more. They can buy the house, the cars, the toys, the jewelry that they want. So it's getting to identify what the why is of the prospect, and them saying, okay, so if I enroll in this program that costs nothing up front, I'm guaranteed at least 100,000, and it's going to put me en route to accomplish my dreams through this blank check. You see, so you're creating a psychological movement from them not being interested to them being able to have an avenue to pursue their dreams. Now, what we do is credible and legitimate, but let's draw this as an analogy to the lottery. Recently, the big lotteries, had exceeded hundreds of millions of dollars. And so some people just went out and bought lottery tickets, even though it's illogical, even though it's almost it's purely clearly improbable that you'll win the lottery. Someone will win it, but it's very improbable that you will, buying one or a few tickets. So, but people do that because for some people, that's their only hope. That's the only way they can connect their current reality to where they want to be. Well, in a much more legitimate and business finance oriented way, you're able to do much the same thing. You're able to help them move from wherever they are to where they want to be by getting them $100,000 or more to start a new business. And then the compelling call to action. So this will vary, of course, if it's in writing versus verbal. If it's in writing using this flyer, we're trying to get them to make a phone call to you. And again, we'll create a flyer for you with your name and your phone number, because in the normal model, what she says is they need to talk to you first. It can be very brief conversation, but they want to make sure that this is real, that it's legitimate, that it's a reassurance for them. So you're not driving them directly into your landing page for this campaign. You're driving them into a brief phone call. If you're having a conversation with them in the elevator at the grocery store, of course, you're not trying to compel them to call. What you're trying to do is to qualify them. And so what you want to do is just ask them a few probing questions and then confirm that they qualify, which we talked about on yesterday's training. And then you'll go ahead and plug them into your landing page. We'll send them the Docusign and proceed. Okay, so we got some great minds on our training as usual. We got Anna Marie and Barry and Beatrice and Kwong and Dion and Elvin and James, Joseph, Kim, Mark, Precious, Robert, Will, William, and others. What questions do any of you have about launching this new campaign on the left here that we talked about yesterday? It's awesome. Or specifically, this outline of how to effectively pitch to someone, whether it be in writing or especially if you're having a conversation with them. What questions do any of you have about the campaign or about how to pitch properly, whether it be pitching this campaign or how to pitch Credit Boost? All right, so Dion's asking a good question. What you want to minimize is the amount of dialogue you have with them, because you'll have to be careful with your time, Dion. People are passionate often about their vision and their entrepreneurial dreams, and they'll just talk your freaking ear off. Well, you don't have enough time for that, nor is it the proper way to gather that information, because you're probably not sitting there recording it. You're not sitting there dictating it. So what's happening is it's not accomplishing the goal. So you really don't want a lot of detail from them. If they start to offer a lot of detail, what I would do is I just politely, let's just role play. So Dion starts rattling off about his new janitorial service he wants to offer. And so I'd say, Dion, that is exciting. That sounds like a really good idea. Just so you know, once we get you onboarded, we're going to collect all the information about your business and where you're going and how it's going to work in a systematic way. So I just want to respect your time right now, Dion, and we'll collect all that information about your new janitorial business here soon once we get you on board. What I need to know, Dion, is do you understand by how you can enroll in the Access to Capital program with no upfront cost? We're going to guarantee you at least $100,000 capital. We're going to help you be able to pursue your dreams. Do you have questions on our process? So that's what you'd want to do, is redirect them. Certainly, you're right though, Dion, getting them to quantify what their blank check would be, and that their blank check might be, oh, well, 100,000 is fine. Or they might say, no, I need 250,000 or 500,000. It doesn't matter what the number is. You want to get a number from them and then ask them how that would benefit them or change their lives. But you don't want to have a long drawn out conversation that they're going to spend 38 cents on a number 2 pencil and they're going to buy a new shredder for $78 from Office Depot. You don't need that level of detail. We're going to capture a lot of detail in the implementation phase using Live Plan for the business plan and financial projections. But for you, you're creating the vision and the passage of getting them from where they are to where they want to be. So very good question, Dion. You want to control the conversation, ask relevant questions, and get them to the point of call to action as quickly as possible. So in writing, it's to get them to call you. And once you have the conversation, it's to move them into the funnel, which you determine if they qualify or not. We talked about those 3 questions yesterday, and then you're going to, which is real simple. Are you a U.S. citizen, or is at least one person in your business going to be a U.S. citizen? Secondly, is it a U.S.-based business, and is it a legal industry? All right, so thanks, Barry. Barry's good to go. There certainly is a video on your landing page for Access to Capital, and also it's on the website. But in this case, I wouldn't redirect them away. Once you're having a conversation with them, I wouldn't be sending them off to do more research. What I would do is get them engaged, get them interested, and let them know, okay, well, let me go ahead and get your name, your email, and your phone number. That's all we need. And we'll send an information packet over. And you'll put that into your landing page or on the inquiry form on the IIMFL website. And then we're going to send them the Docusign, which does have more information, but it also includes the agreement. So instead of just dripping along and delaying, we'll get them some more information, the information packet, but it's actually the contracting packet as well. All right, thank you for that question. Let's see, Elvin's asking. Yeah, we'll continue, Elvin, you're right. We'll continue to talk strategies and provide samples of ads and concepts, but a lot of it comes back to you, Elvin, and our other distribution partners in terms of your ideas for marketing, because that's what you all bring to the table. So I don't want to portray that, you sign up as an affiliate and we're going to do everything for you. We're here to train and support and, of course, implement, but it's your creativity, your ability to generate awareness, to educate, to generate leads that you're going to be able to monetize. Question about adding pictures or bios on the flyer. Well, if you want to do those types of things, you certainly can. What we're going to do is take this flyer template and take my name off and put your name on, and we're going to take our office phone number off and we're going to put yours on. So that's what we're going to do for you on this flyer. But if your model, Kwong, is to put pictures of yourself and bios of yourself, which is good, that creates credibility, that's fine. That's just not going to take place on this template. You would do those marketing pieces on your own. All right, so Robert's asking about the Docusign. So this is a campaign that is feeding people into the Access to Capital program that we've all talked about at nauseum, and it really our flagship program. And so the Docusign has a flyer, and then it has the agreement that will be sent to them. We'll send to them. We'll copy you, so you'll see it if you're the referral source. But the copy comes after the two contracted entities have signed it. So first the client gets it. If they don't sign it today, they get a reminder tomorrow, a reminder for 120 days. Once they've signed it, it comes to us to execute. Once it's executed, you automatically get a carbon copy of it, so you know that you've had a conversion. But there's nothing different in the Docusign. We're sending out the normal Access to Capital Docusign because that's the program. This is just a different marketing campaign to a unique audience, those small businesses that have not even formed yet. So we're promoting entrepreneurship, helping start new businesses with this campaign. Okay, so let's see what other questions we have about this this process. And Elvin, you're right. You know, when we're here speaking and exchanging ideas, we'll run off some different role plays and that, and you're certainly welcome to use that scripting if you want or not. But ultimately, it's just up to you to package the knowledge about the programming, the resources, and take it to the marketplace as you would like, and you can use our wording or create your own. Okay, who has questions regarding the campaign or the pitching process? So let's review, and if not, we're going to finish early today, which is great. The goal is for each of you to make at least $9,000 a month. Now, if you're an affiliate, you should make at least $9,000 a month. If you're an educator, you should be making at least $9,000 a month. Not too good to be true, not pie in the sky. That is really the minimum expectation that we have that is very attainable. If you're a joint venture partner, that should be $30,000 a month. How do you make money? All right. Well, if you're pitching something that's free, you have to understand the comp model. So you pitch this, you drive them into your landing page, we send them the Docusign, they execute the Docusign. The client has no upfront cost, no upfront cost. We start implementing. It's a 4-week sequence. You all are familiar with that. If not, go to the IIMFL website, go to the Small Business Certification tab, and I'll show you the structure of the 4 weeks. With that being said, now, not always been the case, but now at the second week, when we're doing mentoring with them, we help them with FTF. And we had a whole separate training on this recently. First tranche financing. We're getting 95% of clients funded between the second and third week of their participation now. Well, what does that do for you? Well, they get funded, and with their first round of funding, then they pay their refundable deposit. The refundable deposit is fully refundable to them once they complete at least $100,000 capital raise. So it's truly refundable. So we're going to help them get their first capital raise. They're going to pay us $2,500, which is a great deal. I mean, it'd be a great deal if they just paid $2,500. In this case, it's a refundable deposit because of the grant. Of that $2,500, we send you half. We send you half. $1,250 goes to you. And even though their deposit, that's assuming you're a joint venture partner, even though that is the $2,500 is refundable, none of that is charged back to you. So they get their deposit back, but you keep your $1,250. So you should each be receiving $1,250 within the first 30 days of each client that you're bringing in now to Access to Capital, or even using this campaign, which is still Access to Capital. We recently started that emphasis of FTF, first tranche financing. It's working marvelously well. If you have clients that are, we'll call them legacy clients, in other words, not brand new, they've already maybe gone through weeks 2 and 3. No worries, just have them schedule a follow-up call with their mentor. We'll work on that financing. We're doing a real high touch approach on that first round of financing, where we're typically on the phone with them, helping them apply and getting them loan offers in that during that phone call. They love it and it's working. We had 5 last night that we did that are all getting funded today. Some of the funding solutions are funding within 24 hours for the first tranche financing. We're financing so many small businesses, it's incredible. It can make your head spin, and you're going to be paid off of each of those through this campaign, or in general, access to capital. Now, any of you that have specific questions regarding your circumstances, much better to email so we can address that separately, not here as a group. What questions do any of you have about what we've discussed on this or this? We have a question. So on the landing page is standardized, with the exception that it's coded to you. So on your land, and we're not seeing a landing page here. A landing page is like a mini website that we create for you. So on the mini website, the landing page, it is standardized, but it's coded to you. So any leads that come through are automatically attached to you. So if you're needing landing pages, if you're needing in anything specific for yourself, email that in. That this is not a good time for us to be able to field what 4,000 of you need individually when we're doing a Zoom. All right. Any other questions that anyone has that we can help you with today? So what's the key? The bottom line is there's a tremendous need. There's a tremendous opportunity. So many people either have crappy credit, and so Credit Boost is that solution, or they want money to start a business. And remember, this is unrestricted funds in most cases. So this $100,000 they could go use to set themselves up a salary, and now they're making $10,000 a month from their business. This could be to go buy a piece of real estate, and now the real estate is unencumbered. Now they own free and clear a piece of real estate or rental property, whatever they may want to use. So the opportunity is so huge. I just don't understand what else that we need to do for those of you that aren't producing volume. And so that's really what your burden is, to come back to us on these daily trainings and say, okay, here's what I'm missing to be able to generate the type of revenue that the others are doing. What is it that's keeping you from being successful? So we'll be back tomorrow morning, and that's what I'd like you to think about. What is it that's keeping you from earning an adult money with us? Because we have a credible, legitimate program that's solving a problem that is a vast, vast problem. This is not trying to find someone that's willing to buy a vacuum cleaner going door to door. Nearly every small business, whether they be pre-launch, startup, or existing, wants and needs more capital to reach their potential. About 1 out of 3 Americans have jacked up credit. Their Credit Boost is no upfront cost, guaranteed results, and they only pay based upon the results. So you've got the arrows in your quiver. We just need to make sure you know how to put that arrow into your bow and shoot it, because I don't know that there's a better opportunity than what we're presenting here. All right. Well, thanks everyone. We'll be back together tomorrow morning. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.